What's up, guys? My name is Young Jae. I'm here to just talk about random things that I like in this world, whether it be culture, whether it be things I've seen, shows, whatever. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit of a throwback of the show I used to really love called The West Wing. It's an older show now, for sure. It's a little outdated. It's a show dealing with the communications department of the White House. The president in the show is named President Bartlett, Jed Bartlett, and the show deals with has the communications director, the chief of staff, the deputy chief of staff, one of the speechwriters that works with the communication director, and the press secretary. Actors in this, phenomenal. Writer is Aaron Sorkin. If you know anything about his stuff, he likes fast talking and really like complicated ways of people speaking that probably don't happen, but who knows? I haven't met these kind of politicians yet. But the show itself was really cool because it had a ton of these one takes that they really like to do in the show. Why I like it is, as I work in the film industry, and I just think it's like crazy that somehow this show was able to pull off such an amazing, just an amazing scene. To set up the scene, set up what's going on, is the president has just done this amazing speech, coming off the stage, and he just does this one, and it starts from the stage, walking through the crowd. So they probably had to get at least 30, 40 people extras in this crowd. Maybe it could be less, but they wanted to make it look packed for sure, right? Jed Bartlett is walking through Michael Sheen, and he has the Secret Service coming through with him, and he's greeting all these people, and then his staff starts to talk to him. It's insane to see what's going on. He walks past the camera, and then you have Sam Seaboard and Toby start talking to each other, talking about the speech, and this is already, the scene is just so amazing. It just has started. You come through, has all those people, and now they're walking through wherever they found this building for them to do this long a walking talk. Trust me, it's a long walking talk. And everybody has to play their part, which is so insane. It's so cool how it's well done. It is. Something like this already is really interesting, okay? So now the Steadicam operator has been pulling back, leading them, right? And one of the interesting things is now the way they're trying to, they want to now follow. So the Steadicam operator has come to this back corner, and now everybody's going to go in front of him and has to wait for all the characters to come through. Now the Steadicam operator is going to start going down the stairs. And also what's interesting is now we've shifted from two characters. Now we're going to talk. Now we've shifted over to, you see they went to Allison Janney in the background, the press secretary, CJ. And CJ is now talking to, what's his name, Josh. So now CJ is talking to Josh. And interesting, now we've shifted over to different characters. Scene is still going technically. Now, this is, again, a really, really complicated shot. Really cool shot. I'm just poking holes here. You'll see a slight mess up here because if you look closely at the background, you'll see whatever is supposed to hold the food. You're going to see the reflection of the Steadicam operator, which really you're not technically supposed to see right there. It's it was just as I was passing through them. You really shouldn't be able to see that kind of stuff there. That's where you see the Steadicam operator. Again, probably couldn't be helped. They had a lot of things going for them. If they walked on the other side, maybe the scene behind them looked ugly. You can't really, as they're going down the stairs, maybe it couldn't flip around to the other side as well. And it's just, or down the line, it would just look ugly if we're shooting with those things behind the Steadicam operator. So they had to shoot it this way with the people going, and now you see, and the characters going. So there had to be something, and they're just hoping us at the audience member watching this for the first time, we're so engaged in the scene, we wouldn't notice this. And now but what's even more interesting is now we're leading them. people have to pass through, and that guy transitions us to now the next part of the scene where Sam's talking to Mandy. And we just keep going, keep going, keep going. Again, this scene has been like well over a minute now. I haven't timed it. I should have, but it's so crazy how like we're still going. Look at all those random people in the background. The chefs back there, waiters, other people walking the side. This guy with this camera for some reason. Oh yeah, he's taking pictures of the president. Now we've transitioned from them to now talking to the president. Now, one part, I would say if they could have done this again, I'm sure they would have loved to, is if this guy right in front of the president would move just somehow not been in the way for that. You want to show the characters. You don't. This guy playing the Secret Service is a background guy. He's not meant. He doesn't have a line. So if anything, I'm sure some like a director, producer, somebody would have been like, operator, somebody would like, I wish that guy was us. Somehow we could have given more space, and that way our main character, the president, could have showed his face a little bit sooner. But again, I'm nitpicking at these scenes, and these are things that like if you're on set, you'll notice sometimes somebody will nitpick at this. But again, also notice how tiny this like stairway we're walking through, so you can't help that this guy is going to be in the scene a little bit more. He can't go out as further than he already is. You just have the two main characters in the middle of the scene, this part of the scene. They're probably, trying to be safe about this. And again, you have a Steadicam operator walking backwards right now. You probably have a grip helping him go down the stairs, making sure he doesn't fall. This part, stuff like this is just so good, so crazy good. And now we're pulling them all back. Everybody can spread out a little bit. These two background guys cannot look at the camera. They're trying their best. Now we pass by them. This was also so random that they had just a couple, just fooling around in the background. But again, it's just something to add flavor, break up the scene a little bit. We've been going, it's just something like, of course, something like that would happen.
In this case, the singer outdistanced the song.
Really, what I heard Charlie say was that the text was user-proof, although you did your level best to disprove that in the D section.
Also, that was another thing I noticed. If you watch this show, the way they talk, the way they go, they speak rapid fire back and forth between their lines, you've noticed so far, right? That's a part where I forgot the name of our actor, but he, I think, slipped up there. He like did that like on one of his lines. But again, they're like 2 minutes, 3 minutes all the way through. They can't just reset for something like that. They have to like keep going. I'm sure he himself would have been like, I wish I got that part perfect. Also, I love stuff like that. They've practiced this to be a point where now, okay, cool. Now we want a profile, and then they leave. Whoever was leading the Steadicam operator, they're like, let's pull you back, and then make sure as we're walking, we miss this pillar, and then we have to come back around, come back in front, and then even more crazy. This is now we're come to the end of the scene. They had to have all these people in the back and outside waiting. They've been waiting probably like 15 minutes because they all have to, wherever the actors are, they're setting, everybody's getting ready. And then they heard an action. And that's where like 5 minutes later, that just wait there ready to start cheering when, again, there is definitely a PA in that crowd and a PA walking through with them, be like, all right, cool, ready? The AD walking with the Steadicam operators and the grip, be like, all right, cool, ready? We're about to come outside. We need everybody to cheer. Or whispering on his walkie, And then that's when the PA is letting all these people outside. Now we say, all right, cool, they're about to come around. When they come around, remember to cheer, cheer, cheer. And that guy has to like pull back a step, because make sure you don't have the, get out of the shot for as the president's about to do his thing. You have all these security, all these cars in line, and then we transition from them to now follow these guys going through, and then you have this guy finally having a line. Insane. Some of the stuff I like about that, as somebody in the film industry, you have to think about is like, one, again, Aaron Sorkin probably wrote this thing as a whole speech, a whole scene. Like, they may or may not thought of it as a one at the time. With this in the room, with his speech, with his rest of his staff, like, we're not sure if there's gonna be a one or not. We love our oneers in the show, but they wrote this scene out. Then if they did think it was a oneer at the time, good on them. If they didn't, well, that's fine. The director probably talked to Aaron Sorkin one morning. We're like, can we make this a oneer kind of thing? I know you like your oneers. And then from there, you have to find the location, and then the location manager has to be like, cool, we have this building, we think it'll work, this kind of looks cool, and then the director then approves, like, cool, I like it. They have to then be able to rent that space. Then you have to think about like, cool, now we need all these background people in there. We have to think about the scene goes from here, from this main floor to the kitchen, to the outside, to the random people that are all the way through. Think of all those background players that are playing. I was probably, again, I don't know, 50 people that was playing in there. I don't know. I'm not great at guessing stuff like that. But again, you have all those people playing, right? And that's just all pre-production. This is before we get to shooting. Then from there, you have, once you get there, the actors have to know all their lines. And because it's such a long scene that they're them memorizing their lines. Who knows when they actually got their lines? Maybe they probably got them like maybe the morning of, before that scene. So they have, again, you might think of it all day, but who knows what else they did all day. They probably have other lines from other scenes they have to memorize, but still, they have to then memorize their scene. From there, you have to then figure out the shot itself. Now we're at the point where we can figure out what's going on, figure out how to do this shot. You have the director, you have the director of photography, then you have the Steadicam operator. Like, cool. They may have already planned this a bit ahead in advance, but from there, they might have seen it before, but now we're here, we're gonna walk it with the actors, we're gonna walk it with all the gear, walk it with all the background actors play. They have to then practice the scene, right? Or not even practice, they probably figure, okay, this is how we're gonna work. We're gonna go from here, we're gonna go from here, we're gonna go from here. The ADs, the assistant directors, is trying to find ways to fill in the space between, because the director doesn't need that mental burden to figure out how to fill it, make the scene look filler. So the director's worried about just the actor's performance and how the shot looks with the director of photography. Then the director of photography also has to light everything from again the ballroom to down the stairs, and make sure at least what they can control from all the way through the kitchen to going down to the garage to the outside. All those things have to be controlled. And then again, like I said, the AD is the assistant director, is trying to fill in the space of all the background actors to play, where to make crosses, where to have when the camera, you need to be doing this. We need chefs doing this. We need people to play here where the president's doing some autographs, and they have that photographer there to take a picture. That all has to play, right? It's probably, some parts are probably written in the script, the president's meeting with that person, but at the same time, all those other people, like I said, the waiters, the chefs, not in a script like that, right? Again, now the director of photography is set up with all the lighting, with the lighting crew and the grip crew trying to make sure the light looks good all the way through on camera, right? With the people. From here, we start really rehearsing the scene. And from there, you have the Steadicam operator and the cast learning the choreography of the scene, when to come in, when to come out, who to focus on when. They also, with that, you have the first AC who's pulling focus to make sure when to throw focus onto who. What that means is nowadays you have your iPhone or something like that, or even if you're taking pictures on your, like, say you have like some sort of digital camera, you have where your focus, you know, a lot of these times you have like automatic focus. But the thing is, even my camera right now, it's on auto. The thing is, when you're using a lot of cinema cameras, you have these really nice lenses that are not meant to be autofocus, especially an older show like this. Stuff like that would, you know, on a cinema camera definitely would not exist. So you have a focus puller with the Steadicam operator and the cast learn the choreography. So they've now done all this choreography that's happened, you know, making sure the Steadicam operator, cast, the first AC pulling focus, and then also the guy helping the Steadicam operator go move through all of it is probably a grip. They, you know, that's make sure the Steadicam operator doesn't trip or something. All these people playing, making sure we get the beats down, the words down, and the movement down to the best of their ability. All these things have to play. Also, I'm sorry, and then the background players who know when they need to cross. AD knowing like, okay, we're like, you know, knowing the timings, like, oh, we're coming up here. Make sure telling the PA somewhere right down the line, we're coming up. Make sure those background people are ready to go. It's so amazing that somehow they got away with it. I don't know how many times they rehearsed it. Me, as just watching this scene, I remember thinking like, oh my God, they haven't cut yet. How are they getting away with it? This is so good. Everybody is on point, so on it. And this was on like Prime TV. Like, man, I was just blown away with like how they got away with it. Oof, the work that they put into this. This show is great. I still like watching it. I do a rewatch every now and then. It's a little, you know, can be like a little too optimistic on what government can be like. Yeah, it's just a great show. If you sat through this long video of this scene that I was just amazed by, thank you for sitting through it. These are just some of my thoughts, some of the things I thought were really cool. The show is actually like, it's an older show, and it's just, I'm super impressed by it. Somehow they managed to pull this all off. I'm gonna keep on talking about things that I like, whether it be like some serious show like this about filmmaking, about random like anime or cartoons that I like. I don't know. I'll find a direction for this channel. In the meantime, please like and subscribe. I'll try to upload new videos of things that I like, things you just want to follow along with me, of like why you want to. Who knows? Maybe I'll post something that you might be interested in. For now, thank you very much.